there's your gun. And at Frisbee, Iowa State, Margaret Allen, Indiana, Amanda Vestry, Iowa State.
And women's 10,000 meters.
And Allie Ostrander is listed. I want to make sure I can pick her out. It looks like Ostrander started on the inside alley and is running in about 6th place on the inside. You can't see her at that angle, but we will pick up Allie Ostrander, the NCAA champion in the steeplechase a year ago, and winner here at Peyton Jordan in the steeplechase last year as well. Amy Davis, Wisconsin. Alicia Monson, also of Wisconsin. Emmeline Delanis from Boston College. Philippa Bowden, Oregon. Isabel Doyle from Washington. Lauren Dickinson, Syracuse. Caroline Alcorta from Villanova. And our rabbit out front running for the Bowerman Track Club is Emily Pritt. So Sisson tucked in behind, and the pace is perfect, 73.5. And Molly Huddle is just behind the rabbit with Sisson and Connolly. Should be mentioned that Kim Connolly, well, she had the dream qualification in 2012 with this dive at the line to not only get the 3rd spot, but to nail down the Olympic qualifying standard. She's had a rough road in recent years due to injury. She had a less than successful attempt at the marathon at New York, and now is working her way back. So ran a 5,000 indoors, and now with the full concerted effort outdoors at 10,000 meters. Emily Sisson was 9th in the World Championships in 2017 at this distance in London, and seems to be on the upswing. And much like Molly Huddle, has options in terms of distances when looking at World Championships and Olympics. 229 and 230 at 800 meters. This looks totally comfortable for Molly Huddle. Yes, it's 800 meters into a 10,000. Almost looks like marathon pace for her. It's so smooth. Same could be said for Sisson and Connolly. But there's just a different level that Molly Huddle operates on. And a lot of it comes from her calm and confident demeanor. Tremendous consistency in the last 10 years, which has led to unparalleled success as an American distance runner.
10K national qualifier while in Idaho.
It's the only two that
up there in the top 10
would fall into the same category would be Dina Castor and Shalane Flanagan. But Huddle right there among the all-time greats.
Caroline Kurgan, 5-time Division II national champion from Alaska.
And you could say that the 2016 Rio Olympic 10,000, where the world record was set, Huddle not even in the race competitively, set the American record, was one of the more epic distance races of all time. 3:45 at 1,200 meters for Pritt as she pulls Huddle, Sisson, and Connolly very comfortably through a set of 75s to open up this race.
Molly Huddle, the two-time Olympian and American record holder.
Edna Kurgat from New Mexico
Emily Sisson
leads a group of 8 or so that are on the chase.
Two-time NCAA champion at 5K. Tucked in there behind Huddle, then Kim Conley.
So Emily Pritt. And now you can see Japanese athletes going ahead of Kurgat. And
Huddle,
Emily
American
Pritt
record holder, Emily Sisson.
now has the leaders at
Kim
5:01.
Conley. Conley, a two-time Olympian at 5,000 meters.
Hagawara and Matsuda, they
Hagawara
lead
and
the chase
Middleton
group.
in the front of that chase pack.
Matsuda running for Daihatsu. Matsuda has run she has run 31:39 for 10,000 meters, did that 2 years ago. In addition to running 2:22 for the marathon in Berlin in the fall. So it would make sense that she would be
And here are your leaders once again, Emily
in
Sisson
it.
and Violent Track
Now Conley
sets the pace.
starting to
We've got a
separate
lead
off
group
just a
of
bit
three
of
there behind
Sisson
her, Molly
and
Huddle,
Huddle.
Emily Sisson and Kim Conley.
6:16 through 2,000 meters for Pritt. So 75s for our leaders, 75 points, 6:17.0. And Ali Ostrander sits in, maybe if we can hold on this shot, and we'll see that second group. You can see that Pritt is now swinging wide after 2,000 meters plus.
At this point.
Ostrander sits in the middle of that second group. She's actually third from the back in that group. So you can start, there's Ostrander in the orange. She's part of that group as it comes through the screen. Right there with the blue. Ali Ostrander, comfortable in a group with Caroline Kurgat, the Division II standout. Now it's Molly Huddle. Huddle and Sisson, training partners working together up front here.
And Huddle up front. Huddle and Sisson. The Olympic qualifying standard is 31:25 for Tokyo. Our leaders are right
this
on that pace.
Is the debut at 10,000 meters for Ostrander.
5K, running third overall.
Keeping in mind, she came off of cross country and ran 15:16 indoors on December 1st. Was 8th at Nationals at 5,000 meters. So her lifetime best came from that December race over 5,000.
Japan national champion at 10K, leads the chase pack.
Stanford invite last year at 9:38
Approaching the
in the
9-minute
steeple.
mark, and Molly Huddle, the American record holder, the leader, with Emily Sisson just a stride off her pace.
So now Huddle and Sisson have separated from Conley, and Conley is about 45, 50 meters ahead of the chase group. So we'll come into a 3K split here shortly. So Conley's still looking good. She's got a long way to go
as
far as running alone.
Ali Ostrander, a part of that 9, along with Kurgat of New Mexico.
9:25 and 9:29 for Huddle. Huddle Sisson 9:25 and 9:29 for Conley. So the 9:29 has Conley at 31:40 pace, and the 9:25 is more like 31:30, 31:25 pace. So So you could say that Huddle and Sisson are on that Olympic qualifying pace. His new 10:03, 10:02.
10:03 at 3,200 meters.
And the chase group would be on qualifying pace for the 2019 World Championships.
On the backstretch, the top two here in this Women's Invitational 10K. That's Molly Huddle, the American record holder, and Emily Sisson, World Championship finalist in 2017 at 10,000
And it's
meters.
Molly Huddle continuing. Huddle and Sisson continuing this torrid pace. 75.1 and 75.2 on the most recent lap for Huddle and Sisson. 77 on the most recent circuit for Connolly, make that 78.1. Masuda 78.1 as well.
And Matsuda.
And now that group's starting to move just a little bit on Connolly, inching ever closer. Still better, still nearly 50 meters. If anything, they're running slightly faster than Connolly, but we're at 12 minutes right now. Lots of time if she's the target.
31:25, the Olympic qualifying standard, and Huddle and Sisson right on that mark right now.
And now Sisson to the front to do a bit of the work.
And Emily Sisson now.
I'm sure they both would love to knock out that Olympic standard tonight with 15 laps to go. And Kim Conley still running well. And to line up this group, that is Hagawara, Kurgat of Alaska Anchorage, Edna Kurgat of New Mexico, Ali Ostrander,
Huddle, Conley in third.
Paige Stoner is part of that group from Syracuse. And you see Kim Conley there, still running with confidence, still smooth. And she is roughly 2 laps from a 5,000 meter split. So Conley cranking out the circuits. Let's stick on that. We'll go back to that shot momentarily and see the gap for Connolly. And you kind of, yeah, you can see the gap there. So about 50 meters as our leaders are very comfortable. You can see here's the group that's coming up, also part of that group. Kinsey Middleton for the Idaho Distance Project running very well. Taylor Warner of Arkansas, Amanda Vestry of Iowa State.
And Kim Conley in third.
And there are 3 groups that have formed, all running very well with a handful of collegiates. And it's Sisson continuing 15:03 at the end of 4,800 meters. So 12 laps done in 15:03.
And Kim Connolly with 13 to go.
15:20 for Connolly at the end of 12 laps. So this Olympic standard is in the cards for Sisson and Huddle. It's going to take some work. So their 5K split, 15:41. So both looking very good, running very strong. Conley's going to be right near 16 minutes. So Connolly unofficially 15:59.
Is the Olympic standard.
The group 16:08, the Ostrander group with Caroline Kurgat and Edna Kurgat, and the Japanese group. $16:20 for Chase Group 2, and then another group just hit it at 16:33.
And Sisson and Huddle move to the backstretch. Conley is running third.
So folks like Grayson Murphy and Danielle Shanahan were in that 16:20 Chase group, and that also includes Stanford's Abby McNulty was at 16:20. And then in the 16:33 group was the three from Wisconsin, Davis, Monson, Haas, Lauren Dickinson from Syracuse. Margaret Allen was also part of that 16:33 group, Lauren LaRocca, Philippa Bowden of Oregon, Winnie Koski of Wisconsin.
Another chase pack down the backstretch. Won the Melrose Games 3,000 meters, won the D1 5K indoors. To the backstretch goes Sisson and Huddle.
So just checking in on lap splits. The most recent lap for Sisson and Huddle was 74.3. So they've been knocking down 74s and 75s essentially since the gun.
And incoming leaders to the front stretch.
Connolly's most recent lap was 79.1. And the group has definitely made up ground on Connolly. You can see her there. The group is 35 to 40 meters back now. So, and that makes sense. I mean, there's power in numbers, and those six who are outstanding runners have a very clear target. So the lead is nearly 180, 190 yards for Sisson and Huddle over third place in Connolly.
In third. Agawara leads that initial chase pack, along with Edna Kurgat of New Mexico.
And if it looks like they're running fast on the screen, you can see there's the chase group with Grayson Murphy and Danielle Shanahan from NAZ Elite. And if it looks like these two up front are running fast on your screen, well, it looks about the same live. They're crushing it out here. So many awesome 10Ks have been run on this track. And this is just going to add to the list. So 9 to go. We're right at 20 minutes. So 9 laps to go. Can they run 9 laps in 11:20? That's the question, and that seems doable.
And Molly Huddle has regained the lead. She'll just move up front to do the work as she and Sisson move down the backstretch. Kim Conley still running third. And that initial chase pack is 6. Onawara and Kurgat, Liz Carolyn Kurgat, 5-time Division II national champion.
So Sisson and Huddle have even upped their tempo. Huddle's most recent lap was 73.5 and Sisson's was 74.1. That's probably the result of a switching of the lead. The Ostrander group just ran a 77.5 while Kim Conley ran a 79.9. So it won't be long before Conley will have a group to deal with. And now 3,200 meters to go in 21:15. So you figure if they run 75s, they run 31:15. The Olympic standard is well in hand for Sisson and Huddle. They ran a 74.9 on the last lap. So 74s and 75s, they'll have the Olympic standard, which is just such an advantage, both tactically and then mentally, to just check that one off the list. Now, there's that group of collegiates as Sisson and Huddle lap them. And they're a full half a lap ahead of Conley as Sisson and Huddle enter into the main straightaway. Conley is now part of that chase group that has been working on her for the last 20 minutes. She's now leading that group, and they're down the backstretch. There it is. So that's Hagawara, Kurgat, Ostrander, Paige Stoner of Syracuse, and Taylor Warner of Arkansas. So 5 collegiates and 2 pros are in that group now. That's a great group. It's what will Conley do with this group, and how will the rest of them respond? Who's going to benefit the most from the connection? I got to think that it will help Conley to some degree. She spent a long time alone. So pushing 16 minutes on her own in the beginning and middle of this race.
Ostrander, Paige Stoner, Taylor Werner.
So that was a 78.79 for the Kim Conley group. 74.1 and 74.7 for Huddle and Sisson. For Sisson, 74.1 and Huddle, 74.7 respectively, as they continue to hammer out these laps. And there's that group as now Conley gives Ostrander a bit of a shove. And that group has worked through and past Kim Conley. Maybe she can latch on for a bit.
Emily Sisson and Molly Huddle continue to run up front.
Now Ostrander,
Impressive showing of working together.
excuse me, Taylor Warner moves into 3rd place. Ostrander now running in 5th.
From Arkansas moves to the front of that initial chase pack. And here are your
And you start to see some response from Kim Conley.
Emily Sisson and Molly Huddle.
So 2K to go for Sisson and Huddle.
We're at the
25 minutes. And now Ostrander moves into 3rd place. So the winner of this race will establish herself, or the winner of that group right there will establish herself as the collegiate leader.
And
That would be
Sisson and
Ostrander,
Huddle running
Kurgat,
73
Edna
seconds.
Kurgat, Caroline Kurgat,
Second circuit here.
or Taylor Warner. And Connolly fighting back. Alio looking very good. You can see the chase group of collegians there. And that group is led by Annie Frisbee of Iowa State.
Here are your leaders, Emily Sisson, and the American
So
record holder,
1,600 meters to go at 26:09. So 31:05, I would say, is a reasonable time. Maybe 31 minutes is a possibility. Last lap, fastest circuit since the first lap, 72.7 and 72.9 for Sisson and Huddle. So they are on it. 31 minutes, a possibility for sure. And they're going to have a really good chance. Actually, they will lap the entire field in the next probably 600 meters. So they're about, maybe in the next 2 laps, they're about 50 meters behind Ali Ostrander, 50, 60 meters behind Ostrander. Conley has responded well here. You see Sisson and Huddle working through.
3 to go.
Both collegiates and professionals in this race. 27-21 last lap, and 71-3. 71-3, fastest lap on the night. They are rolling right now. And it is Sisson that has carried the pace for what seems like the last 2 miles. But they are totally on it right now and just crushing. And we'll try to dial up these two to see who makes the move, because that move could come anytime, and we'll make sure to catch it. You can see where these other groups are, but the focus now over the last 900 meters is going to be who's going to win this race, and can they break 31? Which would be huge.
2 laps to go.
Right around 28:30 with 2 to go. And again, another awesome lap. Huddle 70.8, Sisson 71 flat. So we are going to see a massive PR by Emily Sisson. 2 years ago at USA's in Sacramento, she ran 31:25. That is going down big time tonight. So now Sisson has separated just a bit as they lap 3rd place. So, and she's got a gap now on Molly Huddle, and you can see a bit of a strain by Huddle. But Sisson on fire as she's coming into 1 to go. So it's Sisson with the gap.
Emily Sisson has lapped the entire field.
And they've nearly lapped. Sisson has lapped the entire field. So Sisson's last lap 69.7.
69.7.
Huddle 71.4, and Sisson is gone. She's blasted off. Huddle responding just a bit now, as Huddle got a little more in the tank, but that's a big gap that's formed over the last 400 meters. So it's Sisson. She's going to be the fastest, not only American, but she's going to knock down the fastest time in the world on the year.
Sisson and Huddle.
So Kellen Taylor's time from San Diego a couple weeks ago at 32:13 is the current fastest time in the world. That's going down right now. Emily Sisson.
Emily Sisson.
She's a veteran, but in a way, she's an up-and-coming distance runner in the United States. A ton to accomplish, and this is just one of many PRs they're going to fall. She's going to be well under 31 at 30:49 for Sisson. And Huddle dips under 31, 67.8 on the last lap for Sisson. So Sisson closes in 4:40. She closes in 4:40, 30:49.57.
Bumping Molly Huddle from that spot. Fifth fastest time by an American ever at 10,000
So
meters.
the fifth fastest time, Mike J, the best PA announcer in the business. Fifth fastest time by an American ever. So that's actually faster than what Dina Castor ran when she broke the American record here in 2002. Huddle, very respectable, 31:58. So number 6 all time. So if we can get a shot in the main straightaway, can we get back to the main straightaway? You'll see Ali Ostrander just over 32:06 unofficially. One of the fastest collegiate marks in history. Ostrander closes in 15:58. Kim Conley just crosses the line unofficially in 32:20.
30:58.46.
Absolutely outstanding performances tonight.
So Molly Huddle now has the American record. She's number 5 all time. And she's number 8 all time. Number 6 all time goes to Emily Sisson, tonight's 10K winner at 30:49.57.
And while the collegiate record is 31:18 by Lisa Ewell, that 32:06, let me get that time on Ostrander, 32:06, one of the fastest collegiates of all time. Paige Stoner, 32:07. Caroline Kurgot with the Division II record in 32:08. Hagawara, 32:09. So that group stayed intact for the most part. Kim Conley, 32:20. She also mentioned that Isabel Doyle from Washington, 32:20. That's very impressive. And Taylor Werner, 32:26. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 collegiates under 32:30. And Mercheva from Florida State runs 32:30 on the nose. And Mercheva, 32:30, and she's 15th place. So just tremendous depth and just another mind-blowing distance race here at Stanford. And usually the mind-blowing distance races don't happen at Stanford Invite. Usually it's Peyton Jordan in another 5 weeks or so, but that was a special race. And Emily Sisson, kind of in a similar fashion to the way that Shelby Houlihan has run recently, maybe not quite with the explosiveness of Houlihan, but taking a huge step, PRing by the better part of 35 seconds. You see her and Huddle did a ton of work together, worked great as teammates. And then when Sisson went to the front, you see here, must have been a calculated decision for Sisson to go to the front, and Sisson just blasted away, running just an awesome race. The 6th fastest performance by an American. And Huddle also dipping under 31.